Hello, Bryony here for Kit Guru. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Steelseries Rival 310 and Sensei 310 gaming mice. Both these mice retail for around $59.99. They're very similar in design, so I'm going to be looking at both of them in this particular video and comparing the two, both to each other and their predecessors. Both these mice use the new Steelseries TrueMove 3 sensor. This sensor has up to 12,000 CPI, which is basically what Steelseries call DPI, and it's been specifically engineered for one-to-one tracking, so moving a specific distance on your mouse pad should translate directly to movement on screen. To be honest, I didn't really notice this while I was gaming. There was no immediate difference between this sensor and other mice that I've used. It might possibly make you a better gamer in the long term, but there is definitely no sort of like immediate jump in your skill. Both of the mice have the same materials used for the body, so they've got this sort of matte black semi-rough finish to them, which is quite nice to use and it feels grippy, but it also feels a little bit cheap as well. I personally prefer the sort of matte black soft touch finish that you get on the previous Rival, or even the gloss touch finish that you find on the old Sensei. Both these mice are also only currently available in black. Obviously I've got a white setup here, so it'd be quite nice to see a few more colour variations like Steelseries do with some of the other peripherals, and also what they've previously done with the Rival had a few different colours to choose from, and the previous Sensei also had some different colours to choose from. Both these mice have the same side grips. It's sort of like a silicone coating and it feels really comfortable and it's quite grippy as well. I think it's going to be much more durable than previous versions of these mice, like the old Rival and particularly the old Sensei. The coating on that one peeled off quite easily, so I think it's something Steelseries has definitely improved with these mice. These mice are quite lightweight and the weight isn't adjustable as well. To me they feel perfectly comfortable, but I do know that some people like a little bit of weight to them, or even a mice that is adjustable in weight. Both these mice seem to glide really easily on the mouse mat as well. The Rival is a bit of an improvement. They seem to have adjusted the pads on the bottom so it glides more easily than the previous Rival. The Sensei 310 feels really similar to the old Sensei, so it glides really nicely. With these new mice, Steelseries seem to have separated the buttons from the main body. This doesn't seem to make much difference, but they have used the Omron mechanical switches, and I really like how these feel to press. They're quite responsive and they create sort of a nice click to them as well, so they feel really good to use, especially when you're gaming with them. I'll quickly mention the scroll wheel as well. It has the same sort of like silicone coating as the side grips do, so it's really nice to use, and I did find that it's quite quiet. Previous versions of mice, sort of like the Rival was quite loud and the old Sensei was very, very loud, whereas the new Sensei is pretty much almost silent when you're using the scroll wheel, and the same with the Rival, that one's really quiet. There's also the little button underneath the scroll wheel, which they've had on previous versions of this mouse. So the default setting for that is so you can easily switch between two different CPIs, which you can program within the Steelseries engine. So you can see on my monitor just behind me here that I've got the Steelseries engine software open. I really love this software and I find it really easy and intuitive to use, but you also get quite a lot of control with it. So from within the software you can reassign the buttons to do pretty much anything. So you can set up macros and you can use macros that you've set up already for other peripherals such as your keyboard, and I think possibly if you're looking for macro options, the Sensei might be a better choice. It has got the 2 extra buttons on the side of the mouse, so you've got a few more extra buttons to program. So I think that the lighting on both these mice looks really good. It's obviously RGB and it's fully customizable using the Steelseries software. You've got a few different presets to choose from, and also the scroll wheel and the logo on the mouse is separately customizable. Let's quickly take a look at the presets for the lighting. So you've got steady, color shift, multicolor, breathe, and trigger. You can also synchronize these mice with other Steelseries peripherals using the Prison Sync engine app in the Steelseries software. So I've got these mice synchronized with my headset and my keyboard, and you can also synchronize it with some motherboards. There are also Steelseries engine apps that change the lighting effects depending on what game you're playing. So there's games like CSGO and Dota where the lighting will change to depict different events that happen in game. So let's take a look at the differences between the Rival 310 and the Sensei 310. The main difference between these two is obviously the shape. I found both of them really comfortable to use. The Sensei has sort of got this traditional ambidextrous design, so it's great if you're right-handed or left-handed, and the Rival has a sort of like ergonomic design where it's shaped to be more comfortable when you're holding it. Unfortunately though, Steelseries don't do it in a left-handed option, so if you are left-handed, then your only real option is going to be the Sensei. So the Sensei has 2 extra buttons to set as macros. I also find the Sensei is slightly heavier than the Rival, although they are both very similar in size. I would say that I use the fingertip grip when I hold a mouse, and Steelseries would recommend that I actually go for the Sensei, and I do use an old Sensei Raw as my original day-to-day mouse, but looking at these 2 mice here, I actually prefer to use the Rival 310. I found that the increased size of the side grip where my thumb goes much more comfortable, and I also quite like that the buttons are sort of like indented as well on the top, and I found it sort of more comfortable to hold than the Sensei. So let's take a quick look at these mice compared to their predecessors. So the old Rival was slightly bigger than the new Rival 310, and it also had a different finish to it as well. It had that old sort of soft touch matte black finish as opposed to the sort of more matte rough finish on the new Rival. They got rid of that sort of pointless name tag feature on the old Rival, and they have improved the side grips on the new Rival 310 and made them much more comfortable and durable. The Rival 310 is also much better to use. It's obviously got the new Omron mechanical switches, which are really nice to click. It glides much better on the mouse mat, and also the new sensor is a great improvement, as I found with the old Rival sometimes sort of like jitter and it would jump on screen, which is definitely not what you want in a mouse. So to me, if you have got the old Rival and you do like the shape of it, I think it's definitely worth considering upgrading to the new Rival 310. I think that it's pretty much the same story with the Sensei. It's the same traditional shape that everyone likes, but it's got a new improved sensor, and the new buttons are much nicer to use as well, and also of course the new side grips, they're not going to wear away or peel off like the previous Sensei. I think if you've got the current Sensei and you like the shape of it, it's definitely worth upgrading to the new Sensei 310. Overall, I really like both of these mice. Obviously they're quite up there in price, but I do think that they're worth their price tag. The lighting effects on these mice are really nice, and of course you've got the Steelseries engine, which is a great piece of software. Both of the mice have really good build quality, and they feel like they're going to be really durable. And although I didn't notice a huge difference with the TrueMove 3 sensor, it has been designed more for precise gaming instead of just ridiculously high DPI like you get with some other mice. Hopefully Steelseries bring these mice out in some other colours. I think they look really nice, and they are definitely one to consider. If you like this video from KitGuru, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, feel free to hit the subscribe button.